There's no other ands, ifs, or buts about it. There's no, oh, I need more time. There's no point. The fight doesn't make sense. You got scared. It was time to go to the altar, and you got cold feet, and you ran. All right, I'll take it. I get it. You're scared of me. Thank you.
He is the Bellator light heavyweight champion. He was going to move to heavyweight in January for a trilogy with Vadim Nemkov, but unfortunately, as we all saw over the last couple of days, that fight is no longer happening. But it is still always my great pleasure to speak to Corey Anderson. Corey, how are you?
I'm good, Damon. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic, man. Thank you for taking time for me as always. As I said right before we recorded, I had already reached out to do the interview with you when the fight got announced because I was excited. I was like, man, here we go. Trilogy, January, it's happening. And I think it was like 2 days later, you tagged me in the video saying, not happening. So kind of give me like a sense of this roller coaster ride you've been on over these basically this last week.
Well, it all started with the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, back home. But the in-laws and my wife, she's a big part of my fight camp and always doing research for opponents and all that. But while she was working out, she happened to be scrolling and doing something, watching something, one of my opponents, something I could possibly fight. And she came across something saying that, I can't remember how to pronounce the guy's name that he was supposed to fight, Nemkov was supposed to fight, was actually getting surgery at the moment and wouldn't be able to fight. And I had literally just told her before she went up to work out, like, oh, they just announced Nemkov fighting this guy. Then she saw that. She sent me from down upstairs and like, yo, see if this is true. If this is true, tell Kogan you ready. Like, you stay in camp all the time. You want this fight, don't you? Yeah, 100%. So I reached out to Bellator and Mike Kogan right there, like, yo, if this is true, I want this fight. They say he hurt. And they was like, we hadn't heard nothing about it. Then later on, he was like, oh, I guess he is hurt. So I don't know if he'll take the fight or whatnot, but I'll see. I'll do what I can for you. I know you really want this fight. I'll try my best. And then my manager called me the next week. We got back. He's like, brother, he's not going to take this fight. I'm like, I want this fight. The only fight I want for Christmas is this fight. Like, you know, it's like a championship fight. You know, your payment ain't the same. Like, I don't care about none of that. This ain't about money for me. This is like, we got to settle this beef. We got to figure out the true best. We're 1-1 now. We both know each other's game. Let's get a full camp and get it going. Like, all right, brother, I'll push for it. And they hit me up like a day and a half later, 2 days later, like Wednesday or Thursday, like, yo, they accepted it. You'll never believe it. They accepted it. Like, no way they accepted it. Like, they accepted it. So I called Bellator, like, hey, Ali just called me and said they accepted this fight. He pulled up my chain. Like, he just talked to me. He for real. Like, no, we really got it done. We surprised too. They agreed to the fight. I'm like, for real? Bet. Like, send me what medicals I need. I'm about to book my flight now. I'm heading to Vegas. Again, this is Thursday night. I pack all my stuff. That weekend, I'm on a plane. I head to Vegas. I get to Vegas. I train for a week. I start working with Eric Nixon, Ray Sefo, breaking down what I got to fight, going over the game plan. So we already breaking down film. We going. And then Tuesday, I get Tuesday, my wife sent me something else she saw on Twitter, which was some Russian media saying they did an interview with Vadim saying he was never offered a fight against me. As far as he knows, he was still fighting the other guy, and he never heard nothing else. And that if this is true, he's not fighting. Screenshot it, sent it to Kogan and Bellator, and my manager get back to my brother. What is this? What are you talking about? Like, this is what my wife just sent to me. I don't know. All of a sudden, he calls me back later, like, brother, I don't know what's going on, but they said they're going to get it done. I got my contract already. I already signed. And then I get a call from somebody at Bellator Wednesday, like, oh, he agreed. It's all good. Go back to camp. Keep training. Don't worry about it. We'll get you a medical set. Everything is good. Like, all right. Thursday night, getting my last workout in before I go to dinner. I finish. I pick my phone up. My phone goes off, and it says he's doing it again. Like, what do you mean he's doing it again? He did not. Now he don't want to fight again. He said he need more time to fight you. You're too tough of an opponent to prepare for on short notice. On short notice, it's like 7-8 weeks out. We fought twice. Like, what are you talking about? Like, don't worry, brother. Just keep training. We're gonna get it settled. Don't worry. We're talking. We're gonna talk to him. We're gonna figure it out. I'm at dinner. My phone go off again. Like, it's not looking good, but just stay. We're staying positive. Keep training. We're gonna keep trying. We keep trying. They're not getting back to us. Now I'm getting frustrated. And I'm in Vegas, so time change different. I wake up, Saturday morning, getting ready to go to sparring. And I told him, like, yo, let me know, because a lot of people don't realize this. I'm here right now. I'm in Indiana. My fight camp is in New Jersey. So my wife, before I left, I packed all my stuff. My wife spent the whole week packing the house, getting the kids homeschooling stuff sent to New Jersey. Doctor's appointments, everything set. And the plan was when I got back Saturday night, at 11, was going to jump in the truck at 5 a.m. Sunday and drive back to Jersey. So I told him, like, yo, whatever's going on, make sure you figure it out before we drive back. I'm not driving all the way back to Jersey just for another fight to get canceled because I have more to go. And here we go. I wake up Saturday morning, get ready to go to sparring at 7:30. And my phone had an email, whatever. Just go ahead and scratch it, man. We've been going at him all day for about 24 hours, and he just keep giving us a hard no. He wants another opponent. He doesn't want you. He take another opponent. He wants to stay on the card. But first, so I said, like, wait, so he just don't want to fight at all? Like, no. He asked to stay on the card. He really wants to fight. He just doesn't want to fight you. Now, literally, like, I'm looking at the phone, like, hold on, what? Like, this can't be real. Ain't no way he really said it. They're like, no, he literally said, like, he wants to fight. He just doesn't want to fight Corey Anderson this fight. And I was like, so it's over? Like, yeah, it's over. Just stop planning, go home, do whatever. But I had already booked flights for my coaches to come. My coach from here to fly to Jersey to be with me. Was planning stuff to go to Saudi or Dubai and have a place to stay, Airbnb, get there early. I had everything put together. Sponsors, got my physical therapy set up, everything scheduled out, ready to go on short notice. And then to come to find out it wasn't happening, that's when I got pissed off. Because not only just for me, but my wife got to go through all these, jumping through hoops, packing, loading cars, canceling stuff for the kids, canceling doctor appointments, canceling dentist appointments, transferring all our mail to Jersey. Like right now, we had Christmas gifts and stuff sent there because we're going to send them out from there. But now we got to stay here. It's a lot. Just to find out, like, you agree, then you don't agree, and now you're going to tell people, oh, the fight was never offered to me. But then you read the articles and say, the fight was never offered to me, but then they wanted me to fight Corey Anderson, but that's a different kind of fight. Like, was the fight not offered to you, or was it offered to you? It's like, one article you said it was never offered, the next one you said it was offered, but it's a different fight. It's just frustrating. But like I told you a while ago before, like, he moved to heavyweight, I believe he was scared of me. Now I know for a fact. I don't have to believe in him. I don't have to think it. Now I know. Like, this guy's scared. There's no reason why you would ask for another opponent and you didn't want to fight me. But it is what it is now. Now we're here.
And not that you need to hear this, but just I put it on Twitter yesterday when I posted the story about the fight being officially off when PFL told me. I heard from another source, and when I say another source, I'm going to say who it is, but I heard from another source that's not you, not your manager, not anyone connected to you, that the fight was offered, it was accepted, and then basically he changed his mind, more or less is what I was told, and decided he didn't want to fight you on that card. So I backed it up because I heard this independently. Like, it didn't come from you, didn't come from your manager, didn't come from your side. I heard it independently saying, yes, he accepted. It was definitely, like, there was no doubt that it was accepted. And then he just decided, like, whatever it was, days later, week later, whatever it was, like, he didn't. So, because a lot of people were like, oh, blame PFL, no, like, this is, I actually said, like, this is not on PFL. They tried to get it done, and they thought it was done. So, again, not that it matters, but I just wanted to out there because, like I said, I know that I saw that blurb of that interview with the quote from Nemkov, but I'm not trying to chuck him under the bus. I'm just saying I heard it independently that that's exactly what happened. He was offered, he accepted, and then he passed.
Yeah, it's like you said, you don't have to, like, even my wife, I say, it's like, why do you keep saying it? It ain't like it matters. Like, no, it kind of does matter. Like, what you say, you back it up. It don't matter because people going to say what they're going to say. But the biggest thing for me is, like, at the end of the room, Corey don't want to fight Nemkov, Corey is Corey. Like, no, Corey was ready. Corey dropped everything. Corey was ready to go home for the holidays, do this. And when the opportunity came, I dropped everything. I called my coaches. Mark Henry couldn't do it. He's cornered Eddie Alvarez. Like, I'm calling people to find anybody that's going to corner me because it's the holidays. Who can make it to go? I got everything set within like 24 hours, ready to go. Locked, sealed, delivered, on the calendar. I'm focused. And I got in that point where I was zoned in. And then yesterday I went back to practice. And even in practice, like, I told my team, like, I'm here, but I'm not here, bro. Like, I just feel like, I feel like I'm coming down with something. You ain't coming down with nothing, bro. You was locked in, ready for this trilogy. You was ready to finally get it in again. And it was just pulled from underneath you. You just got to get your motive back up. Now you just kind of like in that empty space, like, blah. Like, you really went hard, getting everything set up, and then it was just gone like that. So it's kind of left without a closing, I guess, in a way.
I don't know if you know. I don't know if you've heard this, Corey. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I've heard this rumor, and again, I haven't talked to Nemkov about it, but I've heard the rumor that this was the last fight on his contract. And obviously, to me, you want to go out on a win to have power and free agency. Have you heard that? Have you been told that? Because, like, when the fight got canceled, that was my initial first thought. Was I had heard this was the last fight on this deal. And no offense, but Ante Delija, the guy he was going to fight, like, I think that's a much more winnable fight. and you go out on a win that way. Like, did you hear any of that? Because that's what popped in my head when I heard the fight was off.
I saw one article was saying like he wanted to fight Andalusia for his last fight. And he's out of his contract, but I was thinking like, is it his last fight? Like I could have swore it was last year they said he re-signed to a new multi-deal fight, but who knows? I don't know. I don't look there. I just want to get my fight. That's it. I definitely wanted to get it before he was gone, but it is what it is.
And I know that like we're going to talk more about it in a minute, but I know that just recently, like you had put out the message on social media because it had been since March. Like we talked right after your title fight win, and it was such a cool moment. You finally got your title, finally got that achievement you've wanted your entire career. And then you're on ice for basically the next 9 months. And I know you'd already kind of expressed like, hey, I want to fight. Like, give me somebody, give me anybody. And this seemed like the perfect scenario. So it's almost like now it's like the worst case scenario, right? Like you were itching for a fight. You were trying to wait. It's been 9 months. That was going to be 10 months in January. And now it's not happening. Like that's got to be the worst part about this because you were already frustrated that you weren't fighting.
Yeah. And on top of it, like when I first messaged them about the opportunity for the fight, and even they said, like, oh, we don't think it's going to happen. And look, right now, PFL needs something that's going to be big. And this is the only thing you guys have with a storyline behind it. We already 1-1. We fought twice. Like, this is actually, people might say it's a pointless fight, but this is something people in the media are actually going to talk about because the first fight went one way, the second fight went completely the other. The third fight, we don't know what's going to happen. This is going to start the debate. And like, you're right, this is something we need. This is something we need. We're going to push for it. And then there's another, like, yeah, I'm thinking I'm about to get the fight again, been on the shelf since March. I've only been out, this is what? So, yeah, December 22nd will be the longest I've been out, which is 9 months, which is the longest before that was the Johnny Walker fight. But before the Johnny Walker fight. So, yeah, it's very frustrating, especially getting older. Like, I keep telling them, like, yo, y'all keep telling me we're going to get a fight book, but I'm training every day, twice a day. And it's not like I'm a 20-some-year-old kid anymore. I'm 35, so the body doesn't heal the same. You know what I mean? I'm steadily beating my body up and down, takedowns, getting taken down, getting punched, getting kicked. That stuff adds up. And then one day I'll mess around and something is torn or something is hurt and I got to get surgery. Now I really can't fight. It's like, we got to get something booked. They're like, oh, well, stop beating yourself up. Like, if I stop beating myself up and you call me for an opportunity fight, I'm not going to be ready. Then what? Then I turn down a fight and my contract extended. It's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, I try to just put my faith in God and know He's gonna take care of it at the end of the day. Like I said, one thing I know about me, I tell everybody, like I ain't hurting for the money. Like I love making money, and my family is providing, or I provide for my family with the fight money. But it's not like, oh my God, I'm going broke. I'm about to lose my house. I'm about to lose my car. Like we're comfortable. I saved. I know taxes and stuff got to be paid, and we got a rental property that's bringing in a little income, but it's nothing like we can go start living life vicariously, spending money here and there, left and right, and not worrying about nothing. But at the same time, that can only last for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to come back to the activity in a second, but I want to kind of close out on Vadim with this one because, you know, when you had the second fight, you always won the third one. And then, of course, he leaves light heavyweight, he vacates the title, he goes to heavyweight. And then again, this seemed like the perfect chance for you to get the trilogy because you were willing to go to heavyweight to fight him. And I know we've talked in the past of you saying like heavyweight is definitely a possibility for you in the future anyways. But at this stage in the game, and again, I don't know his contract situation. I've just heard the rumor this was the last fight of his deal. Is there any part of you with everything that just happened? And as you said, I know short notice, it was 7 weeks. That's a pretty normal fight camp. I mean, you know, we hear UFC fight announcements 4 weeks before a fight a lot of times. Is there any part of you that feels like you'll just never get that third fight with Nemkov now? Like, do you feel like that's just, I don't want to say never, but is there a part of you in the back of your head, like after this, is there a part that's like, I'm probably never going to get him again?
I feel like after this, he'd probably never take the opportunity to fight me again. Like one, he wouldn't, I wanted to fight. So it's kind of like one on him, he'll finish on the high note. If we never do the trilogy, there's never a chance of me beating him again. And two, I just feel like if it keep coming to him, he's going to find another way out of it. It was offered at 205 for the trilogy there. And the day before they announced the fight, he announced, without telling Bellator PFL, I'm going up to heavyweight. Like, they called me like, yo, we literally just talked to this team yesterday. The fight was set. Thursday, we were announcing you guys are fighting in Chicago. And now he pulls this. So this is a shock to me. Just stay on the line. We'll let you know what happens. Call me back there. Like, he's going to heavyweight. News to us, but whatever. Not this one. Same thing. Like, they give him an opportunity. He agrees to the fight. Then it goes to happen. And he just pulls it off my knees. And it's kind of like, And when I tell my wife, when I fought Phil Davis in Chicago, I was doing all the media, and I kept crossing paths with him, and he would look at me, and every time I look him in his eye, he would look down or look away from me. He kind of like seen him. I was focused. Like the only thing I was focused on was getting this fight to get back to him. Like I was there for Phil Davis, but he could tell in my eyes, like this whole trip is to get here, to get back in there with you. And then after that fight, if you see the interview, I find it all the time on YouTube when I go to watch his fights or any fights like Yo and them that fought him, it comes up where he did the interview after his fight and he said he'd rather Phil Davis won that night because he would have won to fight Phil Davis another time, which would have been his third time. But yet, when it comes to fighting me, I don't see any reason to have to fight Corey a third time. I don't have anything left here in the 205 division. Yet you beat Phil 2 times pretty clearly, but for ours is 1-1. But you don't see any reason to fight me. But you want to fight the guy you beat twice, and yet you want to go to heavyweight and fight Ryan Bader, who you already knocked out in the second round. That's somebody you got to fight again. But every time it comes to fighting me again, it's like, I don't see any point of fighting him anymore. Come on, man. Dot the I's and cross the T's. It's right there. He doesn't want to fight. He's scared to fight. He see what it is. Like I made a post yesterday. You watch the last minute of both fights, and the last minute of the fight with me and him, and I was ground upon him. He was kind of looking off the fate on those guys. Like, I don't know what to do. I need to get out of here. That's where you look in the last minute with our fight. Even with one leg and my eyes swollen shut, I'm still coming after him, throwing shots, landing shots, looking for the finish. Now, you know I'm coming back a third time with a whole different plan. When have I ever came back to a fight the same as I was the last fight, David?
Yeah.
It never happens. I always come back a different monster. And he knows that. And that's what I feel, and I believe he does not want to face. He doesn't know what's going to come this time. And that's all right. Now I got the closing I need. He's scared. And I'll be all right with that. That's a victory for me.
Yeah. If two people are supposed to fight, one guy doesn't show up. Yeah, isn't that the old story? If one guy didn't show up, the other guy wins.
Like Jan said when he fought, what's his name? I was in the Ratchet when his knee tore. He tore his ACL. Hey, 2 guys showed up. I showed up more prepared than him. His knee wasn't ready. It's a victory. I don't care what you say. That's a win. Like you was ready to fight, and now all of a sudden you're not. There's no other ands, ifs, or buts about it. There's no, I need more time. There's no point. The fight doesn't make sense. You got scared. It was time to go to the altar, and you got cold feet, and you ran. All right, I'll take it. I get it. You're scared of me. Thank you.
To that point, Corey, I go back to our interview in March. You win the title, and it was a genuinely awesome moment for you because you've been chasing that title, that gold for so long. Becoming a champion, I know how much that meant to you. And when we talked afterwards, I was just genuinely happy for you because I know that's something you've wanted your entire career. But then to go from that and then to go to like 9 months of inactivity, and I know you didn't take the same approach as Patricio Pitbull or Patchy Mix when they've like flat out said, I want my release because I'm not fighting. But how tough has this past 9 months been for you? Because as you say, you're 35. Obviously, you're still in the prime of your career. You just won a title. So, but again, like everyone wants to fight. And again, I know for you, like you've done well financially, you've taken care of yourself. And I think that's all very smart. I wish more fighters would do that. But to win that title, to have that awesome moment, and then to be on ice for 9 months. And again, I don't know, you tell me, like since the Nemkov fight got canceled, like have they said anything to you about rebooking? Like where are you at now? Because you were already on a 9-month layoff even before this happened.
They hit me this morning and said they're working on something. As soon as they get the schedule set for the year, they're pushing to get me on one of the first cards announced. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that. But at the same time, it's like something I tell my wife all the time. Like when she starts stressing, people start stressing over stuff, like I voice my opinion on some things on social media. Like I said, I'm getting old, aging like old milk over here. I want to fight. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, the one thing I always believe in is God got me. I just got to do a pass with my coach before this. He's like, bro, we got to get something else. Like, yeah, I would like to get something, but at the same time, like if something doesn't happen, God's got a plan. Like right now, like the money's still coming in, the runners coming in. I got hunting sponsors and stuff that's helping me stay afloat, so it ain't like a stress. And I told him, like, if somebody said right now, if I went to the doctor's office and they told me, Corey Henderson, we did an MRI or a CAT scan, you can never fight again, this and that, I wouldn't mentally break down. It's obviously God's plan. I'll take all that money we got saved in that bank account. It's time to start the next adventure, whether it's I open my gym, I buy more rental houses. We're going to have money coming in. One thing about me, like I've always planned I've always told people, I'm planning for rainy days. They say, man, you so cheap. You so cheap. Like, nah, the money coming in right now. You saw I fought last week and won. Like I said, you never know when the next time going to come. I could get hurt and be out for 2 years. And if I done spent all my money, now what? And this is why I've saved my whole career. Now here we are, sitting on the shelf 9 months, no fight money coming in, but at the same time, we're not crying over spilled milk. We're just putting faith in God and hoping He gonna get something set for us. Every time I have a big bill come up, it's crazy. I get like a refund check back in the mail or a sponsor check in the mail that I didn't expect to come. It's like, oh, see, He's gonna always take care of us. He's making sure we're taken care of. I ain't worried about nothing. I want to fight, but I ain't gonna stress over it because I can't fight with him. My arm's too short to box with God. It's His plan. So yes, I want to fight. I can get frustrated and throw a willy-nilly and all these pity parties, but at the same time, the history's already been written. I'm just here living life.
Yeah. And to that point, though, like I think, like because you remember this, when PFL bought Bellator in November 2023, there was a genuine excitement because it's like, oh, we're going to get these 2 rosters. It's going to be like a legitimate. Because Bellator was number 2 for the longest time, but then we all heard the rumors about, like, Paramount was looking to scale, so on and so forth. So we all kind of saw that coming. PFL buys it. We're like, oh, awesome. We're going to get some really cool fights. They had some pretty good fighters on the roster. And then we got these Bellator Champion Series cards going. It was, it seemed like it was going well. But then, they had that card in London where they pulled the main event, and then the card in France that just got canceled. And now we're at where we're at with, guys like Pitbull and Patchy Mix being like, release me. I want to fight, and you guys aren't fighting me. Is there any disappointment just the way this has played out in that sense? Because when you I remember when you signed with Bellator, we talked right after that. You were so excited. They showed you the love. They showed what they were willing to invest in Corey Anderson, and they put the faith in you in a way that unfortunately you didn't feel like the UFC did. And then you had a great career there. You had a great run there. And then again, things change. We understand that. But then again, it kind of seemed like optimism. Like you go in, they're scheduling cards. You're on Max streaming service, which is a big deal. You win the title. And now here we're back here. Is there any part that's just like, this is how the whole Bellator thing is played out?
Yeah, that of course, especially like the kind of like for me, like I've said it in like a hashtag when I made that post about age like old milk, like bring Scott Coker back. It was for me, that was the selling point for me. When me and Scott sat down and had breakfast the day after I signed, and everything he told me, he stuck to his word. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about if I meet you face to face and you tell me something and we shake hands on it, I expect you to keep your word. Scott Coker, Mike Coker still, and he's still everything Mike Coker told me. I signed and we did a FaceTime on DC's phone that night, and everything he said, he's kept his word. Scott Coker kept his word. Pete Murray and Don Davis, I've never met them. So it's kind of like now I'm up in the air. It's like I met Pete in Chicago, but it was like during the fights, there wasn't much time to sit down and talk and figure out a plan. So it's kind of like it's an unknown. I don't know what their plans is. So yes, that's kind of, it's daunting at times because you don't know. Like I said, I was supposed to fight October 19th against Yo Romero in Saudi Arabia on that card. Then all of a sudden Francis announced he was coming back. And I'm sure that was a big payday, and they couldn't afford to pay 2 top guys, 4 top guys, so they had to cross us off. And then, like you said, the London card did the same thing with Johnny Eblen and Fabian Edwards. They moved him they moved them to California, right? Or whatever. They moving stuff around. And they had called me for when I was supposed to fight Yoel October 19th. I went to Jersey 8 weeks or 7 weeks out, whatever. And they called me the day after I got to Jersey, like, yo, can we move your fight to California? Like, wait, California is 3 weeks away. Like, I literally, at the time, I had just got back from a knee injury. So I was like, I'm just getting back into PT. This will be my first time really going hard. I can't go 3 weeks. It's kind of like, because there's no real plan. So that is upsetting at times because you don't, like I said, with Scott Coker and Mike Hogan, I never really stressed because I know they gave me my word. And if you're a real man, you shake my hand and you look me in the eyes, you're going to keep your word. I don't care what the contract say. Your word is your bond. Your last name is everything. So you're speaking on your name. So Cogan and Coker, they both shook my hand, and everything they have ever said, even like when I fought Phil Davis, I talked to Cogan in the back. He said, didn't next fight a title fight? Flat, point blank, nothing else. They went to announce the Nemkov fight. He pulled. He told me, brother, I know the sales happen. He messaged me, but don't worry. I promise you your next fight is a title fight. You just wait. Your next fight is going to be a title fight, no matter what happens. We got bought by PFL. He called me with the first card, like, hey, first card over in Ireland. I told you got a title fight. You want to go to Outlet? Yes, of course. All right, I'll get your contract. A man of his word. That's big for me. Like I said, with Don and Pete, I haven't talked to them, so I don't know what their plans is. At the same time, I sit from the outside looking in. They just look like guys that haven't really spent much time in fighting, so they don't really know what they're doing at the moment. They're trying to make business moves. They're good at like Wall Street type stuff and stock probably and making money, but that's just a different game than the fighting game. So I don't know their plans. But again, who knows? They might have something planned. You keep seeing Don post on Twitter next year this, next year that. Hopefully it's something big. Hopefully we get something at the beginning of the year and get another one at the end of the year. I hope I don't fight one more time and then sitting on the shelf again. So
yeah. Yeah, and to your credit, like you were very even tempered in your approach. You were kind of like the less angry of it, and your perspective is, obviously leaving it all in God's hands, and I totally understand that. What did you make? Again, I'm just asking your opinion. What did you make of the guys like Patchy and Patricio who've gone as far now and say like we want release? And I've heard these rumors. I'm sure you've probably seen this. I think it was Juan Archuleta who said it, that like when a lot of the guys were leaving Bellator, they got signed to new deals and they got bigger pay. Now, I understand, like, you got to make money. I get all that. I totally understand that. But when you buy Bellator, you got to know what the contracts are. Like, if you don't want those contracts, like, you better release those guys right away if you don't want to pay them. Like, when UFC bought out Pride back in the day, a lot of the guys came, a lot of the guys didn't. That was just how it worked. Like, they let a bunch of the guys go. But I'm curious, like, what you make of those guys. Because, again, you've been much more even-tempered. But I get it. Like, I understand it. Like, you're in the primes of your career. And I know Patricio is like towards the latter part of his career, but again, he's only got so much time left. I think he's 38. You know what I mean? Like Patchy Mix, I had him ranked as the number one ranked bantamweight in the world until Merab recently, because I thought, Merab beating O'Malley kind of jumped him. He's in the prime of his career and sitting out now for, 6, 7, 8 months with no clue when he's fighting again.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, with Patricio, he's a little older. There's a chance that he may get picked up, I guess, if he got released. But Patchy, I understand, he's young. Like, I was just out there in Vegas, and me and Pat, I think every day I was out there. He was at the gym, and we were talking about, like, bro, man, what's going on? You heard anything? I ain't heard nothing yet, man. Then I got that fight. Like, oh, I might be stepped in. Like, oh, I'm glad you got some. Like, I don't know what's going on. I hope I hear something. I just want to fight, man. I'm young. I'm like 33. I want to keep making money and keep peaking and doing well and this. Like, man, just be patient. Your time will come. Whether you get released or they're going to call or something, you're going to be out here. Like, I know, man, I'm just hungry. I want to keep fighting. Like, and I get it. You can see, like, he was training, but I've been out there before and seen him training like hard. And it's like he was training, but he wasn't going as hard. Kind of like he just don't know what's going to happen. He's always training, but he don't want to kind of burn himself out for nothing. And I get it because we all know I left the UFC when I asked for a release. And that was another frustration. It wasn't not getting a fight. It was offering me fights, but it wasn't the fights I wanted, and the money wasn't worth it. So when I asked if I could get a pay raise or whatever, they said, no, you're going to get this or you're going to sit. I was like, all right, I'm tired of fighting this battle. Can I go somewhere else and get treated better? And I did. Now, I did that with Scott Coker and all that, but now with Don Davis and stuff, I'm back in that situation. But at the same point, it's like everybody's saying, oh, leave and go to UFC, leave and go to UFC. Whether that's a chance or not, that's not something I'm really worried about. You know what I mean? I got my contract here. I got a few more fights. And I know if I was to go back to UFC, the money wouldn't be near what I'm making. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get one fight here, I make more than I'm making 3 or 4 fights in the UFC. So it's kind of like a catch-22, but at the same time, like I said, I made my money now, and I saved it up to the point where if I didn't fight again, would I be upset? I wouldn't be upset. It'd kind of be like, that sucks, but it is what it is. But I know I got a lot more in the tank, and I'm still learning with this new striking coach. I was talking to Ricardo Almeida the other day, and I told him I feel my striking is way better than it's ever been now because the striking coach goes out to Tiger Muay Thai and coaches with those guys. He's a boxing coach, and I'm learning stuff. That's what Mark was amazing. Like, I love what Mark taught me. But now I was just adding stuff to what Mark taught me. And I just feel like that much more dangerous. And I would love to fight again. Like I said, if I didn't fight again, it is what it is. It's kind of like I'm at peace with life, I guess. 12 years in the game, and the one fight that I really, really wanted before I left again was Nemkov. And now I don't think that's ever going to happen. And now it's just kind of like, I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I would love to fight and keep defending the belt. I really want to fight and keep defending the belt. But at the same time, if something came up where Bellator crashed today and UFC didn't want to pick me back up, or I went to the doctor and I couldn't fight again, I can literally walk away from the game. So I did 12 years and I gave them all. I went into the game with 0 experience, won the Ultimate Fighter, made it to the big show, won my belt. I've accomplished everything I wanted to do. Now I can just live life and just hang out with my kids.
Yeah, I love that perspective. And I appreciate you have that perspective. But like, as you know, as a guy who's followed the sport and follows your career, it bums me out because again, I remember talking to you back in March and the excitement in your voice and the happiness in your voice of finally getting that title. And then we're just kind of like at that point we're fantasy matchmaking. Like, who's it going to be? Is it going to be this guy? Is it going to be that guy? Blah blah blah. And just it's unfortunate. And I said the same thing about Patchy. Like Patchy's on such a run, you could argue he's at worst the second or third best bantamweight in the sport, right there with guys like Marab, guys like guys like Umar, and then just to sit on the shelf. It's just unfortunate. I hate it for you guys. And again, like that's the downside of what happened with the Bellator deal. We didn't see it coming. But again, like right after you put that post out, when the Nemkov fight got announced, I was like, oh, great. Corey got a fight, and it's the fight I know he wanted. And then for this to happen, it's just like, man, but I love that you're keeping that attitude because I don't know that I would keep that attitude, Corey. I know I'd probably be flipping tables and throwing stuff against the wall, just frustrated. But I appreciate that you just kind of kept a very even-tempered approach to this whole thing. And as you said, they're hopefully going to get you on one of these early cards next year. I know Mike Kogan. Everyone seems to really like Mike Kogan. He seems like he's a good guy. Obviously, it's not all in his control, of course, because he has people he has to answer to too. But hopefully, February, March, they get this season, whatever's going to happen, they get you on a card. Because again, I don't care if you're 35, you're still in the prime of your career because you just want a freaking title.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still learning. Today I was doing passive coach and learning probably 3-4 things, like 12 years, and just new, something new to me. Like I'm still in that learning white belt mentality where I'm just excited. I learn things, I go to sparring, I try it, and as soon as I land it, I call coach or send him with a WhatsApp with a video like, yo, coach, it didn't work. Like I still get excited. I'm still hungry when I'm on the mat. That doesn't leave me. I coach college wrestling, I go wrestle with my guys, and still I'm joking around, but once we step on the mat and shake hands, the face changes. It's like, you're not taking me down. I'm about to beat the brakes. It's just that competition in it. But outside that competition, when I'm outside living life, I look at everything I got. I look at my family. I got a whole gym, like not a small. I got an actual gym in my backyard. I got a boat shop. I got everything I need, and I got 2 houses. Like I'm at the point. It's just like I can literally say I'm at peace with everything I've done. It's like when I've done it my way. That's the biggest thing. I never sold out. I never had to put a gimmick or do nothing crazy. I just stuck to me and working hard, and I got it. And I would love to keep fighting, keep proving like I can still do it, but at the same time, I guess it's that I just put a lot of faith in God in the last 2-3 months. Something happened, and I just my wife's stressed about it. They're in prime. I got to fulfill the contract. We got to do this. We got to do that. And she's just going off because, like I said, she's invested in this fight game with me. The life where she got to move if I move, and she going off. I'm looking like, why are you not mad? And I'm like, because God got a plan. And I just laugh about it. Like I can't. We can be mad all we want. I can flip, like you said. I'll be feeling like, I want to flip tables. Like when they called me and Nemkov denied it, I told Coach, like, you lucky I've been working on not cursing and being a better Christian. Because I want to go on social media and call him everything in the world and flip all the tables. And I said, like, right now, he got like a real female genitalia. He said, I've never heard it put that way. I said, I'm working on not cussing, I said. But at the same time, it's like, I'm just in a better place in life when this peaceful mindset. Like I'm peaceful, but at the same time, when I get in the cage, don't think I'm not hungry. Don't think I don't want it. It's just a sense I know I can't control the inevitable. I can only control what Corey's going to do. I can't control what Mike or what PFL, Don Davis, and Pete Murray's going to tell Mike Hogan, what Mike Hogan's going to tell me. I can only control what I'm doing. That's staying ready, keep putting my faith in God, and just be hungry when it's time to eat. That's it. There's no point in getting mad. I get mad, and then I go out there and I fight mad, and then I lose. Like I did against the Jan fight the second time. I fought mad. You see what? I didn't go out there and wrestle like I used to wrestle. I was trying to strike, trying to prove a point, and got my lights put out. No, just stay calm, stay simmer. When the time comes, you get the call, just be ready. Be ready.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, Corey, I really do hope this gets turned around quick. Like I said, even the nature of our interview, because when I originally reached out, I was like, I got to talk to Corey. The Nemkov fight's happening, and then obviously the cancellation. And now it's just like I still obviously want to talk to you. I always love doing the interviews. But even now, it's just like, man, I'm just so bummed for you. But hopefully, February, March, whatever the timeline is to get you back in there, to get you a big fight, maybe a title defense, whatever the case may be. Hopefully it happens soon. I am unfortunate, I'm kind of with you where I'm like, I don't think the Nemkov fight's going to happen. That's unfortunate. But as you said, if you don't show up to a competition, there is still a winner by default. So I guess you take that as for what it is. And like I said, hopefully next time we talk, it's early 2025. You got a fight book, title defense, whatever it is, and you get back in action because I want to see it. I think we all want to see it. And as always, man, I appreciate doing this. Appreciate taking the time. And hopefully next time we talk, it's a little bit more of an upbeat conversation with a title fight booked or whatever.
Yeah, at least a solid fight with both contracts signed, ready to go. I would love to fight, defend the title, but at the same time, a fight is a fight at this point. So, with a title line or it's just a regular fight at heavyweight, it gets whatever. A fight is a fight. I got to prove my worth, and that's what I'm ready to do. Every time I step in, ready to go out there and dominate.
Take that 2 million fight in Ghana. Take that 2 million fight in Ghana.
Oh, they called me. I'm definitely going up there. And I got Ali. Ali gonna get a couple more million with it. He's the best at negotiating. But if the opportunity came, I ain't running. Believe that.
Yeah, take the money and run, man. I know. So, well, Corey, as always, man, I appreciate the time. Like I said, have a great holiday with the family. I really do appreciate your perspective on all this. And like I said, hopefully next time we talk, fight is booked. The other guy signed the contract and he's actually going to fight you. And we have that to talk about next time.
That was good, Darren. Appreciate you having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, man.